Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if this is your first time here. My name is Megan. I'm a mama to two little kiddos. My son Rowan is almost 3 and my daughter Juniper is 8 months old. And today I'm continuing my What I Wish I Had Known series, and we are talking about all things poop and pee, because I'm talking about what I wish I had known about potty training. So we took the Big Little Feelings potty training course, and I'm not going to go over everything in the course because that's obviously not my content to share, so I'll leave it linked down below. I highly recommend it. I am not affiliated with them at all, but it was a really great course. So that was kind of our methodology, but I'm just going to share my personal experiences and things that surprised me along the way, things that I wish I had been prepared for, and also a few things that I'm glad that I did know, and my potty training essentials. So the first thing I wish I had known about potty training is that it's really different than it was when I was little and when my siblings were little. There was no bribing with M&Ms. There was no big, yay, you went potty celebrations. Everything that we did was based in childhood development research, again, provided by Big Little Feelings. And it surprised me that it was so different, but it actually worked. It was very similar to a lot of gentle parenting tactics. And we tried to help him feel proud of himself when he went and have that be his motivator. And it worked wonders. The next thing that I wish I had known about potty training is that it's okay to wait. I feel like I got so much judgment when I didn't potty train Rowan exactly at 2. We waited until about 30 months to do it. And honestly, I got a lot of anxiety about this. I didn't want to mess with the optimal window, which is supposed to end right at 30 months. But I feel like we did it when he was ready to do it. We had introduced the potty a few months before. He went on it a few times, just got familiar with it. It wasn't so scary. And by the time we were ready to do it with him, he was old enough to understand and communicate with us. And every kid is going to be a little bit different. So if you are doing it a little bit later or a little bit earlier than somebody else, that's okay. It's your kid's timing, not the timing of an instruction manual. Another thing is that it was not as bad as I thought it would be. I was picturing accidents everywhere, just disaster for 3 days straight, and we had 0 poop accidents, which was awesome. Knock on wood, that was such a blessing. It's obviously not going to be like that for every kid, but I feel like I had built it up in my mind to be so much worse than it was, and it wasn't that bad for us anyway. Something I wish I had known when I was buying potty training supplies, or potty learning supplies as they call them, is that you want to buy your underwear 1 to 2 sizes too big. So I bought Rowan the 2 to 3T underwear, and it was too tight on him. It felt too much like a diaper. And when we switched to the 4T underwear, even though it's too big for him, we saw a dramatic decrease in pee accidents. Something else that I wish I had known is that getting up onto a potty that sits on your regular toilet seat is a little bit challenging at first. And when seconds count, when you are trying to hustle them to that potty to get some in there, if they start, going, you're gonna want a little potty. So this is the one that we have. It's called the Liewood Jonathan potty. It looks like a cute little bear, but any little potty will do. And what I love about this is that it's very mobile. We could take it in the car with us if we were going somewhere. We could take it out into the backyard. We could put it in his playroom. Something that I'm really glad I knew is that having special toys for potty time is huge for motivating them to actually stay on the toilet. So what worked for us was using a sensory bin when it was time to go number 2. And this little potty was perfect for that because he could sit on the ground on the potty. I put the sensory bin in front of him, and it occupied him for 20 minutes while he sat and waited for the poop to come out. Something else I really wish that I had known is that public restrooms can be really scary for little kids. And even if they're doing great at home, when you go on an outing, it might take you a couple tries of going in and out of the bathroom for them to feel okay to go, or they might not go at all and they might hold it until they're home. One thing that has helped us with this is this little potty seat. I'll try to link it down below. Again, I'm not affiliated with them at all, but I love this thing. This is the One Proud Toddler travel potty seat, and you can see it starts really small, so you can stick it in your diaper bag, but then it unfolds and you can put it on a public restroom seat to make it a toddler size so they don't feel like they're falling in. And we haven't had any incidents of this pinching him. I know that's a concern with some of these travel seats. Something else I wish I had known was to pack stickers in my diaper bag to put over the sensor on the toilet that makes the auto flush. That was Rowan's biggest fear, still is. He still sometimes has a little bit of a hard time going in public restrooms, but if you put the sticker over the sensor, then it doesn't automatically do the big loud flush. And once they get used to that not happening, they might be a little bit less hesitant to go. Another thing that I wish I had known is that you might have regressions that feel like they come out of absolutely nowhere. I was very prepared for regressions when it came to other big changes in his life, like moving into the big boy bed or when we start school or things like that when the binky goes away. But I didn't realize that there would be regressions just literally out of nowhere. We noticed that they mostly happened on days when Matt and I were like a little bit preoccupied with something. He wasn't getting as much one-on-one attention, and it took us a while to figure out what the correlation was there. But he would be doing great for like a full week, no accidents, and then all of a sudden he would have like 3 accidents in a day. And we traced it back to kind of that like one-on-one time. I think it might have been like a cry for attention. So once we realized that, we made sure that we were doing really intentional blocks of one-on-one time with him. If you don't follow Big Little Feelings already, you can go and check out what they say about the 10-minute miracle. It really is a miracle. It works wonders. Another thing that I wish that I had known is that sometimes hand washing takes longer than going to the potty does. I feel like it's just so much fun for kids to like splash and play in the water. So we have our learning tower pushed up to the sink in the powder bathroom downstairs, and he loves to play in the water. So that's required a little bit of extra patience and a little bit of extra coaching. And I try not to rush him through it because I don't want him to feel like he has to live his life on like an adult timeline with adult hurry, I guess. But that was a shifted expectation for me for sure, because when he goes, I feel like, okay, we did it. We went potty, good to go. And then hand washing takes like 10 minutes. Another thing that I'm glad that I knew is that it is so nice if you can work it so that you have multiple adults at home for the first 3 days. So we did this on a holiday weekend. So Matt and I were both home for 3 days straight, and we did not leave our house for 3 days. We just watched him like a hawk, and our whole goal those 3 days was to get pee and poo in the potty. I think I would have gone absolutely crazy if I had to do this completely by myself. I know that that is not always possible to have another partner, but if you have a friend or a family member who can come over to help you one day, my mother-in-law came over and helped us as well, and just having multiple adults around, it made it so much easier. Another thing that I wish I had known is that it takes a lot of patience. I guess I kind of knew this, I anticipated it a little bit, but when there is literally pee going onto your floor and you have to just be mechanically calm and be like, pee doesn't go on the floor, or pee doesn't go in our pants, pee goes in the potty, it is a little bit triggering, because it's like, especially if they're doing really well for one day and then they regress the next day, it's just like, you had this, I know you had this, why can't you just go in the potty? And of course you can't say any of that. So calm and patience is key, and Matt and I would trade off when one of us was like at the limit. We had a little code word. Again, if you've been on this channel a while, you know that we love code words for like parenting stuff. And so we would say the code word, and without any hesitation, we would swap places, and that worked really well. The second to last thing I wish I had known is that kids don't have the bladder strength to stay dry when they sleep until they're about 5 years old. Isn't that wild? So we have his pull-ups, which we call sleep undies, and those go on for naps and nighttime. We do not expect him to stay dry while he's sleeping. It's just an unrealistic expectation. And knowing that helps me to, again, shift my perspective so that I'm not trying to get him in underwear or anything at night for quite a while. The last thing that I wish I had known about potty training is that it will end eventually. No matter how hard it is to get there, whether you have a fairly easy time like we did or it is a battle, eventually your kiddo will learn to use the potty and it will be over. Like all things in early parenthood, it feels like it will last forever, but they will learn. It will happen. So just try to power through if you can. Give yourself a lot of grace. You're doing great. And there's so many other parents going through the exact same thing as you at the same time. So just know you're not alone. All right, guys, that is it for everything I wish I had known about potty training. If you want to check out the other videos in my What I Wish I Had Known series, we have ones about baby-led weaning, about the 1 to 2 kid transition, about newborn sleep. You can check that out right here. I love you guys a lot, and I can't wait to see you all in my next video. Bye! Golden, golden things. Golden, I follow only golden. Golden.